Freedom Talk Show, where we redefine healthcare and discover more freedom in our lives. I'm your host, Tanner Hobbs, and I'm so happy to be back on here today, back in my element and back talking about things that I just so love speaking about, talking about, and just interacting with you guys on. So, like I say at the beginning of every episode, and you may get sick of, but the interaction is what is going to make this show thrive. It's what's going to make this show grow, and it's what's going to make this show what it's capable of being. So comment down below anything that you would love for me to talk about, anything you loved about this episode, or just anything you want to share about your life that you want me to know or I can talk to you about. I love interacting with you guys so much. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and then screenshot that you're watching the Let's Talk Freedom Talk Show, tag me at Trainer Tanner, and use the hashtag Chasing Freedom so that more people can come see this talk show and chase freedom in their lives as well. Okay, so like always, I like to kind of recap on the past episode just in case you missed it. I want to let you know what we were chatting about. Last episode was episode 3, titled Cleanse Your Life or Declutter Your Life. And we talked about decluttering our life in a lot of different areas and the importance of it. And I really enjoyed that episode. We talked about cleansing your life with the food, with your relationships, with your thought process, with the limiting beliefs. We really honed in on those limiting beliefs, those deep things that we've convinced ourselves that we think are truths, but they're not really our truths. And we even talked about decluttering stuff in our life, like getting rid of just extra stuff that's in the way. So I left you all with a question, and the question was, what are your limiting beliefs that are keeping you from seeing the potential in your life? So if you didn't catch that episode, go back, watch episode 3, and then you can come back and catch up and watch episode 4. Anywho, thank you guys so much for being here today. Today we're talking about something that I'm obviously very connected to and love to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it a little differently than I ever have. And that is the title of this video, which is Chase Freedom. So this all started, I guess, I don't think I've really ever shared where the whole idea of chasing freedom started. And that's what's kind of picked up. I use that hashtag Chasing Freedom. It's my life mantra. It's something that you'd think I get sick of as much as I use and everything, but I never get sick of it because I love the word freedom. I love the idea of chasing freedom. I love the idea of bettering myself and just continuing to experience more freedom in my life from things that hold me captive, things that weigh me down, the baggage that I carry on my back that oftentimes I'm putting there myself. And I just love the idea of getting better and better and letting stuff go and experiencing more freedom in our lives, more happiness, and more just overall better version of ourselves and a better just disciple for the Lord. But let's go back into why I connect to this word so much, because I think it's really important to define the word freedom in my life so you all can understand it and maybe just connect it to your life as well. When I was in college, I decided that I really loved health and fitness, and I've shared this a lot. You know, I was an accounting major and I played softball and all this stuff was going on. But the main thing that I couldn't run from was this idea of how passionate I was about health and fitness and how bad I wanted to pursue it, but I had no idea what the heck to do, what that meant in my life, or, you know, what the next steps were ever. At the same time, I was in toxic and hard relationships with guys and with friends and all that kind of stuff. I had some amazing relationships. It makes it sound like I didn't have a good college experience, but I had an amazing college experience for the most part. And I'm so glad I was exactly where I was supposed to be, and I know that now. But at the same time, I did have toxic relationships. I was putting my trust in the wrong things, and it led to some very dark days and some dark nights and just some ugly times. At the same time, some other things I really struggled with at that time were food guilt, this whole idea of career guilt, you know, not pleasing people enough, and just others' thoughts altogether. What others thought of me consumed me always. What I looked like, what I said out loud, what I was going to do with my life, me on the softball field, which was catastrophe, to be honest. But all these things were just weighing me down. My backpack was just loaded with all this terrible baggage that I was putting on myself, and I wanted to be set free so bad from. I wanted that freedom from those things, but I didn't know where to find it. And it was like this cyclical time period where I would turn to food, and then I would turn to fitness, and then I would turn to going out in the social scene, and I would turn to these relationships, and it was just on and on and on, this cycle that I was going through, and I was trying to find freedom and all those different things. But really what I wanted was true freedom from having those cyclical times, from the roller coasters and everything, and I just wanted to let go, and I didn't know how. I was scared. I was scared of being alone and ending those relationships. I was scared of failing and pursuing this dream that I had for myself and then letting everyone down and being told those words that everyone hates, I told you so, right? I was scared, and I was scared of just letting people down, and fear consumed me, but I wanted to be set free so bad. But the thing that changed everything for me, and now that I look back and I recognize it, is when I graduated college and I finally started taking the steps. So I got out of the relationship and I pursued the industry that I really loved, and I stopped worrying about what other people thought about me all the time. And I realized it's not about us taking all our fears, or it's not about us trying to find freedom in all these different things and all this different stuff and all the life stuff that we have to do and the decisions that we have to make and the food that we put in our body. I realized that's not where I was going to find freedom. But I was going to find freedom in the one who truly sets us free. And that's when things started to change, is when I pursued freedom in God. And it's not, instead of trying to pursue it in other people or pursue it in pleasing others or pleasing myself or trying to make myself happy or feeling like I was enough on my own. And the thing is, Christ has always said from the very beginning, I have come to set you free. He's told us that. He's already given us freedom. It's there right now. And we have the choice to accept that as we are, and accept that we are enough and we're already set free, and we don't have to reach for these people's approval, and we don't have to reach for these things or these next levels in our life, but we're already set free exactly where we're at now. And that was the shift. That was the big shift in my life that I so desperately needed to experience. And had I not had those hard years and those really dark days and those dark time periods in my life and those bad choices that I made, I probably wouldn't be able to fully accept that I was already set free through Jesus Christ on my own. I probably had to go through some of those things in order to really understand the power of God in my life and what He's already done here on this earth for us so that we can live and be set free and have eternal life. But I like to really put an emphasis, and I think at that time period in my life too, I also had this vision. I had this vision of this girl that I wanted to become, and I don't think I could have had that vision if I'm not able to become her, if that makes sense. So what I'm saying here is I think freedom starts with a vision. While we're already set free and we have to learn to accept that and we have to be super open to that, I also think we have to have this vision of this girl or this guy of who we want to be. So I like to think down the road a little bit. I like to always think of that girl. What does she do when she wakes up? And I do this a lot of times with my clients, and I did it just with a free challenge group because it's really, really powerful if we live like the girl that we want to become or that we're trying to become or that we're so desperately like working towards, but we fail over and over and over again. Sometimes I don't think we're clear on what that free life actually feels like. We don't let ourselves have those feelings. We just have these quick thoughts and we're like, okay, we need to take these actions, instead of just basking in those feelings and letting us pause and sit down and really think about who we want to become and what freedom feels like in our life every single day, right? It feels good and we don't even know it yet. So one thing I want you guys to do too is to sit down and vision and write out and take time to think about who you want to be. Who do you want to be 1 year from now? Who do you want to be 5 years from now? Who do you want to be 10 years from now? And what does she live like? What is, from the moment her eyes wake up in the morning, or she hears that alarm clock, or she eats breakfast and goes about her day, what does she do? What does she think? How does she act? How happy is she? What choices does she make? What does her day look like from the time she gets up to the time she goes to bed? Is she structured and organized and clean and just has less stuff and is just so happy and spends time with God and is very present in the moment with all of the things that she does? What does she look like, or he look like, if you're a guy watching this? And that's what I was thinking at those times. When I graduated college, I was like, okay, if I'm really going to take these scary steps and these scary actions, I have to know what I'm taking action towards. And this is when I started journaling a lot in my life. And I sat down and I was saying that I am all these things that I wanted to become. I am hope. I am joy. I am grace. I am love and compassion. I am all the things of that girl that I wanted to become so bad. I am all the fruits of the Spirit. That's really what I wanted to become. I wanted to become more like Christ, because I was really diving and just surrendering my entire life to Him at the time and saying just like, please take everything that I feel like I'm carrying. Just help me, guide me, let me join you and stop asking you to come down into my messy life. Like, you've got this figured out. Let me join you. And that was the vision I had. A girl that was just full of kindness and full of patience for herself and for others, and full of grace, and just full of just hardcore faithfulness in Him, in myself, knowing I was already set free, and just enjoying life to the absolute fullest while I'm here on this earth. But it took that vision. It took me writing those things day after day after day and really figuring out what that life would look like if I just started to believe it. And once I started to believe it, and when I started to manifest those thoughts and just dive into the Word and dive into my thoughts on this messy paper and all that kind of stuff, and really was like, I'm not going to get there if I don't take the actions every single day. It had to be a consistent action thing if I really wanted to experience full freedom from all these things that I struggled from so much. And that vision is what guided me to start experiencing the freedom. And so that's when I started experiencing that freedom, is when all this idea of chasing freedom picked up. It was addicting. I loved it. I felt so good. God plopped the man of my dreams in my life. I started to feel really good about my body again and stopped caring what other people thought so much. I started attracting the clients to me and loving on them and changing their lives. And it was just this amazing momentum in my life of me experiencing freedom. And so that's where the idea of chasing freedom came from, because I was experiencing freedom in so many different parts of my life, but it was because the foundation of my life was so strong at that time. And that's what I had to experience in order to even think about taking the daily action to make all those things better in my life. So think about your vision, who you want to become, that girl, how she lives, and think about what you want freedom from in your life. Remember, Christ has already set you free, and you have to truly believe you've been set free. You can experience freedom if you're open to it, if you just surrender and open your arms and just say, like, let me be free. Let me just get all of this crap off of me, like that cleansing and that decluttering that we talked about last week. Like, let me get rid of the junk so I can experience the potential and I can experience the goodness of what this life can offer. And I want you to think about, am I standing firm in the freedom available right now, or are you searching for freedom somewhere else, right? So are you thinking about, okay, I'll experience freedom when I lose that 20 pounds. Then I'll feel really good. Then I'll feel free from this weight and free from this burden and what people think about me all the time. Then that's when I'll feel free. Or maybe it's when You think you'll feel free when you meet the man of your dreams, right? Maybe that's when you're like, okay, when I meet him, when he comes into my life, then I'll experience freedom. But right now, I don't feel it yet. Or maybe it's when you get that raise at work, or just you hit the next level in your life. You're like, okay, when I graduate college and I get my first job, or when my boss realizes how good I am and he moves me up, then that'll be freedom. I'll feel better. I'll be making more money, and I can feel good about my life, and that will be freedom. Don't let there be your freedom when your freedom is already here. I think we're missing so much greatness and goodness in our life. We're here right where we're at today for a very, very important reason, and sometimes we miss it, and we miss the opportunities that every day when we open up our eyes, the Lord brings to us, and we completely miss it. But because we're so worried about us, and we're so worried about getting somewhere else instead of experiencing here, right where we're at. My preacher talked about this a little bit this past Sunday, and he was saying, even like with people on vacation, there were so many people on spring break, and he was like, I know I'd feel more free if I was sitting at the ocean because it's April and it's snowing here in Indiana. If I was in front of the ocean and I didn't have to work for a week, then I would experience true blue freedom. But he was saying that, no, I'm here for a reason. Even though it's snowing and it completely stinks to look outside and see snow when other people are posting beach pictures on Instagram, I'm here for a reason, and I need to not miss those opportunities, and I am set free here today. So I want you to do that vision work. I want you to write down some of the stuff that you feel, where you feel like you would be living a life of freedom. Because I promise once you can sit and bask in those feelings and understand what you're capable of, because I say this a lot, but you're not going to be able to vision a future you if you're not capable of being her or him right now. And it just takes that consistent action. It just takes that faithfulness, that hardcore faithfulness that you are set free already. And those consistent actions are going to let you experience experience that more. That action to wake up 30 minutes earlier and spend some time with God and really set intention for today and let him live through you, through every single thing that you do, instead of you trying to just figure out life on your own. It's not possible. It's not possible. Life is tough. Life is so hard, and God knows that, and he will provide for you that life. So stand firm in your faith, stand firm in that vision work, stand firm in that belief that you're set free here and now and not somewhere else. Okay. So the reason why I wanted to even have this episode be where it's at is because here recently, you're not, I hoped that I continue to grow in my faith, and that's my goal, and I want to deepen that and never stop trying. But this past week, I had to have a come to earth talk with me, and then me and my husband had one because we kind of got our priorities out of whack. Life got crazy. I don't like the term busy, but there was just a lot going on. We have a lot of ideas flowing through our head, and we're working a lot, both of us, because we don't have animals and we don't have kids, and that's what we do. We work and spend time with each other. And so we were moving work from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. and then I'm trying to get up at 5:30, and we were just missing a lot of things. And because we had all this work to do, and we were telling ourselves we had so much to do and so much to get done, and today's going to be a crazy day, and oh my gosh, I'm so stressed out, all that kind of stuff, we were missing opportunities. We were missing where freedom lies because we were missing time with God. We were skipping things that we normally wouldn't skip, and our priorities got out of whack. And because of that, I felt more frustrated, and I felt just more unfulfilled at the end of the day, even though I have so much goodness in my life. And I just felt this overwhelming pressure on me. And it was pressure because I wasn't letting the freedom that I already had from all this stuff, I didn't let myself experience that. And I didn't let him experience that. And I didn't hold us accountable, and he didn't hold us accountable. And so we just kind of overran ourselves and exhausted ourselves. And we just felt like, okay, something's got to give, something's got to change. And that was just it. We just had to spend more time with God. We had to spend more time with the one who's already set us free from all this stuff. So that's where this whole episode came from. And I want you all to just kind of sit down with yourself and sit down with God and ask yourself, do you really believe that you're already set free, or do you feel like you need to be somewhere else in order to experience that freedom. And is that somewhere else another job, or is that somewhere else another house, or is that somewhere else with 20 less pounds on you, or is that somewhere else just more time with God and just deepening your faith, like truly understanding your faith and taking time to understand it, and then you'll feel more set free. So let your soul rest in Him to experience that freedom more. And that's actually the good life, is what I've come to find out. The good life isn't when I'm on the beach and on our honeymoon, and it was the most beautiful space in the world. That was a good life. Like, that was awesome. But the true good life, the true deep freedom, and where you don't have to like stress about the weight and stress about the actions that you're going to take or that you don't take all the time. That true freedom that you feel, where you're just like, you know what? You can let things go easier, and you just have a lot more grace for yourself and grace for others, and you just love on people more. That's the deepest thing that you can give, is deeper love. Love on people even when it's the hardest, absolute most hard thing to do. This is the freedom that you're going to experience, and that I am learning to experience, and that I'm working on continually experience, because it's just so hard to put into words what the freedom that God has already given you feels like. It's something that I try to share on my Instagram every day. It's something that I try to talk to my clients. It's something that I try to talk to my family and to Derek all the time. And I'm just like, man, like, it's so hard to put into words. I don't think I can, because I think that we each have to experience that freedom on our very own, in our very own time, in our very own way. It's not going to look the same for everyone, but it's amazing. It's like truly amazing. And I just felt the need to talk about that today. And if this feels pushy, or if this feels shovey, it's not. It's really coming from a spot of, that's where the good life is. That's where true freedom lies. And that's where this whole chasing freedom idea comes from, is a very deep faithfulness, and that we're already set free, and we don't have to find freedom in another spot in our lives. So what's your vision of freedom in your life, and what's it going to take to consistently take action to understand that you have freedom here right where you're at today, and you will tomorrow and the next day and for the rest of your life? Okay, next episode, guys, is, what is the next episode? The next episode is to stop comparing yourself. This is something that so many women come to me about, something I struggle with when I get into that scrolling on Instagram phase, or times where I just spend too much time on there, and it's a trap, and it's dark, and it's ugly, and I want to talk about it. And I'm really excited to talk about it, actually, because I feel like I'm going to get some good from the Chasing Freedom movement. I always ask them what they think about the topics before I go into the teachings or go into these episodes. So I feel like we're going to get some really good stuff on that, and I'm excited to get to that episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already and you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye, guys. This is what freedom feels.